Now we move into a part of Linux that feels a bit like learning a quiet trick, how to make things disappear without actually deleting them. Up to this point, everything you've created has been visible. But in Linux, not everything is meant to be seen at first glance. Sometimes you want to reduce clutter, protect configuration files, or simply keep things out of plain sight. Let's start with the simplest and most common method, the dot secret. In Linux, hiding something can be as easy as changing its name. Any file or directory that starts with a dot is treated as hidden. No special command required, just a naming convention. For example, if you rename a file like this, mvquiz.txt.quiz.txt, it instantly becomes hidden. If it's a directory, mvpractice.practice, practice folder becomes hidden. Creating a hidden folder, use the command mkdir.hacked. Same result, it disappears from normal view. But remember, it's not gone. If you run ls-la, you'll still see it. Hidden doesn't mean deleted, it just means out of sight unless you ask for it. Now, instead of just names, Linux gives you a full breakdown of each item. And here's how to clearly distinguish between files and directories. Look at the very first character on each line. If it starts with D, it means it's a directory, folder. If it starts with dash, it means it's a regular file. A small variation, the tilde. There's another subtle trick you might notice. Touch Anony tilde. Some graphical file managers treat files ending with tilde as temporary or backup files and may hide them. But here's the important distinction. This works mainly for files, not directories. It's not a strict Linux rule like the dot prefix. It depends on the file manager. So think of it as a soft hide, not a guaranteed one. The dot hidden file, GUI magic. Now here's something interesting. What if you don't want to rename a file or folder, but still want it hidden? Linux gives you a quiet workaround, especially useful in graphical environments. You can create a special file called .hidden, touch.hidden. Then open it and type the name of whatever you want to hide. For example, private_data notes.txt. Save it, then restart your system. And just like that, the folder private_data and notes.txt disappears from the file manager. But here's the twist. It will still appear in the terminal when you use ls. This method only affects the GUI, not the actual file system behavior. So this is more like visual hiding, not system-level hiding. A more advanced idea, hiding by overlay. Now we step into something deeper, not just hiding but masking. Instead of renaming or listing tricks, you can actually overlay a directory so it looks empty or different. For example, sudo mount --bind/empty/directory secret_Arduino/desktop/secret_folder. What just happened? The original contents of secret_folder still exist. But now, when you access that path, you see the contents of /empty/directory instead. It's like placing a cover over something. You haven't removed what's underneath, you've just hidden it behind something else. So when you run ls/home/arduino/desktop/secret_folder, you'll see whatever you mounted there, maybe nothing at all. This approach is powerful, but it's not meant for casual hiding. It requires administrative privileges. It's more about isolation and control than secrecy. Anyone with enough access can discover and undo it. Bringing things back, undoing the bind mount. Now, suppose you want everything back to normal. The solution is surprisingly simple. Sudo umount/home/arduino/desktop/secret_folder. And just like that, the original contents reappear. But there are a few things to keep in mind. If you try to unmount while you're inside that directory, Linux will stop you. Umount, target is busy. The fix is simple. Step out first. Sudo umount/home/arduino/desktop/secret_folder. Sometimes, another program might still be using that directory. In that case, you can gently force it. Sudo umount-l/home/arduino/desktop/secret_folder. The -l, lazy unmount, detaches it immediately and cleans things up once it's no longer in use. If you ever want to confirm whether the mount is gone, mount pipe grep secret_folder. Or just ls-la/home/arduino/desktop/secret_folder. If your original files are visible again, you're back to normal. At this stage, you've learned something subtle but important. Hiding in Linux isn't about making things disappear completely. It's about controlling visibility. Sometimes you hide by naming, sometimes by presentation, hidden, and sometimes by structure, mount-bind. Each method serves a different purpose, and once you understand that, you're no longer just managing files, you're deciding how and when they are seen.